All right, guys. Welcome back to the Raised Hunting Podcast. I'm David Holder. I am your host, and I'm joined today by two controversial guests, or going to be controversial guests here in just a minute, because today's topic is hunting stereotypes. But we narrowed this down. I think the way they have asked me to introduce this is financially.
It was hunting stereotypes, but you
What
made it
we
financial.
just told you what to introduce it as. Hunting stereotypes.
But then you said you wanted to do another one that was based on something else.
You could do a whole series of these stereotypes.
Okay,
Depending on if our boys like it or not.
So you don't want me to put anything else
girls
with it?
This is hunting stereotypes.
Okay. You said there was another one, so we would do this one on money.
Yeah. No, I was saying on the type of land you hunt. Not financial. We're going to do a financial podcast today. We talked about hunting stereotypes, but now we're going to be your financial advisor. So if you have any questions on money, you let us know.
Yeah.
As Dave Ramsey says.
Don't
worry about a 401k. Worry about a 410 bull. You only live once.
Dave Ramsey did not say that.
Have you not seen all these memes?
No.
There's all these
That
memes
is
now
freaking
where they
hilarious.
take Dave Ramsey and they have him like this, advice thing, and it looks super legit. Like they took his exact copy that he uses, like his font and everything, and it's like Dave Ramsey said, "You know what? You only live once. Buy the car."
Get the loan.
So I saw a hunting one where it was like, you know what? Dave Ramsey says, "You only live once. Mortgage your house to get a governor tag for that elk." You know.
Oh, that Dave Ramsey's much more fun.
Okay, guys, so that's what we're going to be talking about today is hunting stereotypes. And it without a doubt, if you've been listening for the last 2 or 3 minutes, you can already tell we are on a seriously controversial topic. So if that's what you like about the Raised Hunting Topics or the Raised Hunting Podcast, you've come to the right one today, for sure. So first up, Warren's got some stuff. He wants to do some house cleaning. And I think you need to mention a gentleman that sent us a gift. And then Easton, we're going to make sure that he's got time to read one of your guys' stories because you guys have been bombarding him with stories, and that's awesome. And as well as you guys have been sending in the 80-inch shed pictures, and we love it.
No, they've been slowing down.
Oh, I got a couple.
I haven't gotten a couple in a little while, so you guys need to step it up. I know there's more 80s out there to rub in Warren's face.
All right,
there's a big deer in the urban area, and I told my wife, I said, if you see that deer, from basically now on, you hit that deer, and then you call me. Do not pick up those antlers. You got to hit him hard enough his antlers come off, and you call me, and I will get you a new car. We don't worry about your car. But do not pick up that shed because I am on my way. I'm taking an ATL.
Count.
Oh, it counts.
No.
If it's off his head and it's no skull on it, it counts.
As they lay on the road in the right lane.
Fine with me. I'm good with getting hit by a Volkswagen if I get to grab that
That
antler.
gets its own category, forced shed hunting.
No,
Yeah.
it's a shed. It's a shed.
That's the Wyoming way to do it.
Yeah,
It's just assist.
assist.
Yeah. They get him in basketball. LeBron gets assists all the time. Why can't I get an assist on a shed?
There you go.
You want to be like LeBron?
No, I also told you everybody else, I'm going to change my tactic. I'm done walking because everybody else just sends me pictures. Oh, this one was in the ditch.
Yeah, you just need to take your own advice.
Yeah, I know.
You want it too much.
Need a drone.
That doesn't help.
A drone that picks up calcium that can see antler.
Yeah.
They come up with that.
If you come up with that, David, you won't be sitting in this podcast booth. Okay, Warren.
All right, YouTube B&B Custom Game Calls. It says, what's happening, y'all? Great guest. Keep them coming, y'all. Had a great season. Switching gears to turkey season now. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm glad that you're excited about turkey season. Nurse Mike IN, I'm going to guess maybe that's Indiana, says, what a legend. I can only imagine the off-air conversations you got to enjoy. I was curious to see if he's had the marbles to give him a red button. Too bad his facts were hilarious.
They were better than Warren's.
He should have got a red button because they weren't even facts. They were jokes.
We encouraged because he didn't want to do it.
He didn't know what he was doing, really. You can't blame him for that.
Eric Robards, get it right. He says, loved growing up watching Jackie and Buckmasters. Great conversation. Jeremy Rupsick, Jackie Bushman, the man that started it all with the hunting television. Awesome scene with the Race family. Thanks, guys. Raised right. Ernest P. Worrell. Come on, boys. Ha-ha. Great show, fellas. William Ayers, SP4TT.
Boom.
Yeah, he said Jackie Bushman, what a legend. Grew up watching him. Awesome episode, guys. Keep them coming. Uh, we'll go back to him in a second. Teedweeze-D60 says, Warren, I couldn't agree with you more on the magazine issue. I've been subscribed to Bowhunter Magazine for 15 years. I still look forward to that magazine in the mail now more than ever. You're correct in saying there's something different in actually holding and reading paper and not being on your phone. Like always, great podcast and keep up the good work. And Iowa Racks and Birds says, absolute legend, Buckmasters. That was the first magazine I ever got. Been getting them since I was 14. Great stories. Always love to hear the history of the outdoor industry. Yeah, I totally agree, Teedweeze. Like, I got another
You do
one
know
the other
that's
day.
Tom, right?
Tom. Oh, yeah.
That hunted with us last year.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name was Teedweeze.
His last name is Deweese.
Yeah, but I'm saying like on his thing, it sounds funny.
How would I ever be able to remember all the handles? It's too many of them.
That's valid.
William Myers and Yoder's are like the two that I've got locked in because I've been seeing those ones for probably like 60 weeks straight or something.
Well, Tom, we got your Christmas card the other day. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
We did? I didn't get to see it.
Well, you just didn't look because it was sitting right there.
You didn't show it to me.
You just threw Dad under the bus.
Yeah, I did. You didn't
also,
show it
you
to
guys,
us.
please leave your reviews, especially you Apple people. You guys are always slacking.
Anyways, we do have one today to thank because, no, this is not a Primo's call, but evidently we have, this is not the one that you just said, the B&B custom game calls.
No.
We have multiple custom game call guys on here, which is great.
Yeah, well, I was saying William Myers.
I know, I'm saying that I didn't realize that we were going to have 2 or 3 different guys that make custom game calls. But anyways, William Myers, Armand Run Outdoors. I think I'm saying that right. Armand Run Outdoors is his custom game calls that he makes, and he sent us some slate calls with our names on the strikers and everything, which was much appreciated, William. So just to give you guys a little something here. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, she sounds pretty good. Good old genuine slate call. So thank you, my friend. We all got one. I was just the one that was cool enough to bring mine out here and show you guys on the podcast. So,
Yeah, much appreciated.
Ooh, you're so cool.
yeah, it sounds pretty good, I will say. But anyways, we are going to get into story time today. I just read this through again because I didn't have a pen for the last couple times, and I'm quite certain I did not read this one yet. So if you guys recognize it, stop me, but I don't think we've read it yet. So today, this one is from our boy Justin Gray. Sent it in a couple weeks ago. Today, November 17th, me and my dad decided to hit the woods for a last-ditch effort to harvest a buck before our gun season. I feel like I've read this. Didn't I read this last time?
I don't know. You haven't read enough for me to recognize. Holy cow.
Just read it with confidence and nobody will know.
Deal. I'm in on that. Today, November 17th, me and my dad decided to hit the woods for a last-ditch effort to harvest a buck before our gun season opener this Friday. I sat in a stand that had a good wind and had multiple scrapes and rubs around. However, 7 a.m. rolls around, and I decided to stand up and try some rattling. As I was reaching for my antlers, I heard 2 bucks fighting. I dropped my antlers and grabbed my bow as I saw 2 bucks fighting down a ridge as 2 more smaller bucks were running after does. The bigger of the bucks ran off, and this 13-point hammer was 15 yards away, perfectly broadside. I let the raised knock fly and watched the arrow disappear. The shot was further back than what I wanted, but I watched as he stumbled through the woods and down the creek. We decided to give him a while to make sure that he was dead. After an hour, we took off, finding good amounts of blood. With my adrenaline still pumping, I didn't realize that we had walked to the opposite end of the farm. We ended up finding him still alive, and he was fortunate enough to put another arrow in him. When I finally put my hands on him, we discovered he had a broken jaw and 3 broken tines. This has been my first buck I have ever harvested with my bow the first buck I have harvested with my bow in over 3 years. And I can't describe how glad I am knowing that raised hunting has given me the helpful tips and tricks to see more deer, but the sense gives me the confidence that a big buck is in the area. You man, Justin.
You did not read that one for sure.
There's one that has the exact same opening. That's why I thought it was. It was a different ending, though. So that was pretty freaking cool, my guy. Thank you for sending that in.
Very cool. I wonder how 13 points, I wonder if that's before or after the broken tines.
If I'm being completely honest, they've sent enough in that I struggle to remember all the deer at this point. I'm not like Warren. But I looked at this one, and I thought that he was a 13-point as it was, but
So he
I'll have to
could
double check on that. Yeah,
have as many as 16 points.
yeah, potentially.
Congrats, dude, on a
Yeah, that's a
3
freaking stud.
3 years hiatus being culminated to killing a big one, and it sounds like it all worked out. So doesn't get any better than
Truck,
that.
yeah.
All right, who's going to bring up you know what you were referring to, because you were referring to today's topic was sent to us by a fellow podcastian listener.
Podcasting.
I don't know what you call him. What's a podcast listener called?
This was derived from a podcast listener that asked us to discuss, and we've kind of turned this into our own topic as far as how we want to discuss it. But talking about the different guys that go out and hunt and stuff that are paying like 30, 40, 50,000, whatever, tons of money basically to kill mega tanks, like not just 180-inch deer. And I'd say not just 180-inch deer. I mean, like they're paying for freaking monsters. So he had asked us about that. We didn't really have much of a discussion. We cared to have a ton on that, but what we did come up with is the stereotypes to go with each type of hunter that we can discuss. It'll be quite humorous, I think, and I think it's going to be very controversial because we're all probably going to disagree a little bit here. But also, you guys are going to probably have a crap load of opinions on this as well. But without further ado, so what were we going to start with? I think you could break it into the different types of hunters. We all have stereotypes very easily. Like as in, I could talk to you at a show and know whether you hunt private land, whether you hunt public land, whether you are some form of outfitter or go to outfitted hunts, stuff like that. I think it's pretty easy to tell with some of these guys.
Well, I think we should cover the one where they're asking basically, was there a pointed question on it though? Like
how many?
Or do we agree with it, or how many we think are doing that? Or
it was kind of what our opinion was on it, and how many people do you think, like, do we think that are out there doing it, that are paying big amounts of money for a deer or something of the likes?
Okay. Well, I think you have to put that in a few different ways. As far as like one, I think that the way you have some people that are putting a ton of money into their own property. You know, they're buying land and then they're putting in food plots and feeding the deer and doing everything they can to try to have the biggest deer they can on their place. And you also have groups of guys that are going to figuring out ways to figure out where these big deer, and this also absolutely goes for elk and mule deer and other things as well. And then they're buying a governor tag, or they're drawing a tag or whatever, and then they're trying to pay the landowner to get access. I think that group is, especially for Midwest guys, I think that's pretty small. Like, so like a spook would fit in there. I personally don't know that there's that many that are hearing about a deer in Kansas and then going and paying the landowner whatever amount of money it takes to try to be able to hunt it.
I don't know what the number is, but it's happening for sure.
But I also don't think it's necessarily that pointed. I think it's like the dude wants to hunt Iowa, and he's going to start calling everybody and seeing who's got a 200-inch deer, and the first guy that says they do have one, how much? And that, I think that's a lot more common than the dudes that like, oh, I want to go kill a buck in Kansas, so I'm going to send some guys over there to pay for them and go find me a 200-inch deer, and then I'm going to go buy a governor tag. I think that's a lot less common.
Well, how many? That's what I'm saying. Though, how many have the money to do that either?
A lot.
I don't know if there is.
There's a lot of people out there that got a lot of money that they don't know what to do with, and it's not even a lot of like that. That would be a stereotype right there. I don't think that a lot of them that are like that are super hardcore hunters. I think they just enjoy to go hunt or something, and so they're willing to pay $30,000-$40,000 to go kill the biggest one. I can think of one that off the top of my head that came here to hunt, not necessarily with us, but we knew who he was. That paid a very large amount of money to get a governor tag, and has paid lots of money, all kinds of places for all kinds of different things, and he just likes to find the biggest thing and shoot the biggest thing. It's not like he's really into the hunting aspect as much as he is. Like, yes, he loves to hunt, but he wants to go wherever he's going, wants to find the biggest one.
Yeah, I think the Iowa governor tag is a bad example because I know, too, we know people personally that have paid more on that tag than they probably even needed to, because half of it goes to a nonprofit.
Right,
And
they're
then
doing
the other
it.
half goes
They're
to the
doing it
state.
for a good cause, and
You know,
that I'll go back to sitting at a table several years ago. I'm at a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation national convention, and I don't know that the guy that I'm sitting next to has bought the last, I think it was 5 or 7 governor tags for a particular state. I don't remember which state it was. This is in elk. And he had spent an average of $70,000, and he'd not hunted a single day yet. Not once. He hadn't been one time. So we've roughly figured it out that he had, I think at the time, we knew he'd spent somewhere between $350,000 to over $500,000, and he's never hunted. And I'm like, at first I'm thinking, and just be blatant, you're an idiot.
Tag?
Yeah, everyone's probably saying, hey man, why don't you give me the tag? That wasn't what he was doing. What he was doing was donating to a cause, then it was, if I get a chance to go. And he said that they would call him sometimes and say, we've got a bull located. We think that you could kill, if you'd like to come, and he can't get off work or whatever, can't get there. Then he would call them, say, hey, I got 4 days here or whatever, or 2 days. And we don't even have an elk spotted right now. And so he said it just hadn't worked. But he also didn't sound like he was someone that was putting a lot of effort into it, And so I think there's different aspects of why someone's doing it. Now, the guy that is spending that kind of money and making sure that he's getting to kill the biggest animal, I don't know where I think differently about that guy than I do the guy that's donating, for sure.
Okay, so let's do it this way, because all of those could have you could easily make a conservation argument, right? That, well, he's spending $70,000 on that tag, goes to the fishing game, whatever. All right, let's take an instance, and let's say that Billy Bob hears about a deer in Missouri that is $215. Now Billy Bob goes and talks to all of those landowners, and there's one guy that's willing to let him hunt, but he's got to pay $25,000 for it. Okay, now we can make they're not doing that for charity.
Right.
Can we all agree on that? They're doing that because they want to kill that deer. Do we agree with that? Do we think that should be okay? Is it a bad thing? Where do we stand on that? Does it make you a better hunter than somebody else? Do you learn more from that? What do we have opinions on that?
Well, that's what I just said.
Yes, but yours also has an underlying that I could make an argument all day. Well, yeah, the guy's spending $70,000 on it every single time.
But that's not what I just said. What I just said is that there is that guy, and there's a guy doing what you're talking about. That it's not going that way.
I'm just painting a more clear picture.
Right, and I'm saying that guy I feel differently about. Where the dude that's doing it for conservation is part of it, I'm behind. I'm as much as I would love for someone to have been able to use that tag that guy purchased to be able to go hunting, because that's what it was intended for. I get where he's coming from. With what you just described, 100%, I'm against it. I don't think that it should be legal to do that.
Well, I disagree with that 100%. I do have an opinion on it. And mine is what?
Go ahead.
Mine is based on how the person portrays themselves, as far as how they carry themselves as a hunter. If they're doing those types of things where they're just basically using the amount of money that they have, again, no negative connotation there. If you've made that money in your life, I really don't care what you do with it. But if you're paying for all these hunts and then acting like you're some super experienced hunter that can teach all these other people or just be better than all these other hunters, and that you just killed all the biggest stuff because you're that good of a hunter, you know the secret tricks and all this crap, that there are some people out there that are like that. That I disagree with, because now you're just deceiving people. And then there's also going to be opportunities there where you're probably going to make some money off of some deceitfulness by acting like some god of a hunter. And you're also going to deceive a lot of people into believing what you're saying, as far as maybe you're even acting like you want to help them a little bit or give them tips, or this is how you need to do it, this, that, or the other, when really you have no idea what you're doing. Your money, your wallet is what has gotten you your success. So that type of guy I don't really care about. The type of guy that goes and does it and is totally open, like, yeah, I paid $20,000 to kill this buck, but holy cow, look at him, he's freaking awesome. The dude that's not hiding anything, that isn't like trying to come off as some other hunter or whatever else, that doesn't really bother me as much. Would I do it or enjoy it? I don't think I would, nor do I have that kind of money. But I think that even if I did, I wouldn't necessarily enjoy that very much. But that guy I can respect a hell of a lot more than I can the dude that's hiding it. Because at least he's putting it out there in the open. He ain't trying to act like somebody's not. He's just flat out saying, here you go. This is the buck I shot. Yeah, I paid a good amount of money for him, and I flew in and shot him this weekend or whatever. Have your opinions on that. Who cares? But he ain't deceiving anybody.
Yeah. Okay, and then what's your thought?
It's not, to me, it's not about what, I agree. I don't dislike the guy for that, if he's honest with that and he's upfront. But what is happening when he does that is it then turns into you're going to run the average guy, the blue collar guy, out of hunting. Because what happens when he pays, when it's okay for him to pay a landowner, like say I'm the landowner and you come to me and say, hey, I'm going to pay you $25,000 or $50,000. Am I calling the dude that has been paying me with a gift card every year to come hunt my place or brownies or whatever because I've been letting him hunt? Now I'm calling all these guys that have been hunting my place because I didn't have a problem with it and tell them you're out. I just got a way better offer, an offer I can't, like a life-changing kind of offer. I can pay my house off or pay my vehicle off, or he's giving me a truck. And I think that becomes a freaking issue. And there is a point where it has to, I mean, it to me, it falls in the same realm of what Arizona's just done with the cellular cameras. They've said that it's gotten out of hand. It's gone too far. So,
but do you think, though, so let's just say that they go and they hunt that deer, and let's say that they kill it.
Okay.
Or they kill it or somebody else kills it. The deer dies that year.
Okay.
What do you think happens then?
That landowner's not going to care. They're going to come back and hunt it.
I would think that landowner's not going to get, nobody else is going to go and pay that landowner $25K for it the next year.
No, so he's going to probably let the people that were hunting there previously hunt anyways again.
I can't speak to that. I don't know what's happening there because I don't know if people think that residually that deer left genetics and so now he's upped the price. I guarantee it's not going to go back the way it was. Yeah, he's not going to just say it's a one-off deal and we're done and now I'm out.
In my opinion, I don't think it should. I don't know that it. I feel like trying to say that it would be illegal is going too far.
I also don't think it's this level. There's not very many blue-collar dudes. And yes, this will get a comment or two because you guys are going to be like, oh, I've had it happen. There's not very many blue-collar dudes out there that have had that specific situation happen. The one that would be much more common would be the guy that comes in and leases it and is trying to lease it for however long. That is much more common than your out-of-state dude paying life-changing money to come hunt one specific deer. The amount of dudes out there, I could probably count on one hand that have had that happen.
Well, I think those go hand in hand. The dude, if someone comes in, they're not coming in to say, okay, I want to pay you to kill that deer. They're going to come in and say, I want to lease your property or I want to buy your property because that's happened too. That's why the state of Iowa does not allow non-residents to just get a tag, meaning they can't buy ground here and own ground here. And the 100% reason that they're doing that is so that ground is still affordable in Iowa. Because if it was allowed, if you were just allowed to buy 80 acres, let's say, because that's what was put up before the legislature a few years ago, you buy 80 acres as a non-resident. Now you get a residential tag. They won't do it because what'll happen is people like who we're talking about would come in and buy up 80-acre chunks, 160-acre chunks at a much higher rate and force the whole land prices up. So the state has said we're not going to allow that to happen. So
I don't think that dictates Iowa land prices at all.
It would.
It might some, but let's just look at ag land price per acre compared to recreational timber.
Yeah, that's valid.
Those guys are paying $15, $20K an acre. Like if they were trying to control the price of the land acre, then they'd be targeting the farmers.
They're not trying to control all the price of the land. They're trying to make sure that the sportsman is not overtaking the agriculture land.
Yeah. Well, I don't know on that. But I think the one thing I do hear all the time is that leases have ruined hunting. And I guess my interpretation on that is I think that people try to blame people that have leases. And I think that what they seem to not pay attention to is I feel that was going to happen at some point. When any time that people realize they have something of value and something that they're not going to use or they don't care about, and they can monetize that, especially if they're in a bad spot and they can't afford their property taxes or they can't afford to feed their family or something, they're going to do those things, and then that creates a market. Like, it could have been a farmer that started it. Could have said, hey, why don't you come, if you want to hunt my place, why don't you just pay me X amount, and then I'll let just you hunt it. And maybe it's the freaking farmers that started it. But at some point, that was going to happen. So I think the people that say leases have ruined hunting, well, my question to that would be, what would you have done? How do you stop that? How would you have ever made sure that nobody leases things? And then you say, okay, well, it's illegal. Okay, let's just say that. I have a hard time. They also made alcohol illegal. And how did that go over?
Speakeasies.
Exactly. I think you're going to have exchanges. Man, that farmer seems to get a really nice new four-wheeler every year. Then he goes and sells it for whatever reason. Yeah. It's like, I wonder how they're working that system. But I think back to that thing. So I'm just going to try to put myself in that position. I'm going to imagine that I had money was absolutely no object and time was no object. For me personally, I would not be doing that. I wouldn't be going to other places and finding the biggest deer that I could and be paying people any amount of money I could to get on the property. The reason for that is two things. One, I would not want to. I don't care about whitetails that much. Like, I'm good with. I just don't care about them that much. I just don't care.
I don't care about them. Why'd you have to try to say that 3 times?
Because I felt like I had more to say on it, but I didn't.
That was hard.
Well, honestly, then your opinion doesn't hold much weight.
Well, hold on, though.
Because you don't really give a about the topic.
Well, hold on. That's not true.
You just said that.
If you would let me finish, David, then you would get a full spectrum here, okay? On the second portion of that, I also would not want to be kicking other people that may not have the ability to go get other places or may not have lots of other stuff off of those properties. Now, if you told me that here's a corporate-owned piece of ground that is 700 acres that nobody's allowed to hunt, and there's a 220 on it, and they tell me, yeah, if you pay us $35,000 and you have this own insurance policy and blah, 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 I would do it. Absolutely. Especially if I got to shed hunt it. That would probably be in the contract with them, because I don't think that I'm really messing with anybody else, and I could afford to do it. And then when I look at on the western front, to me, I would, like, buying a governor tag or something, I would do that too. Because that governor tag, whether it goes to me or somebody else, it's already allocated to somebody. So I'm not taking any other opportunity from anybody else, and it guarantees that I get to have the best hunting opportunities that's available. I would buy those. But the difference to me is that either goes to this rich guy or another rich guy who has a equal opportunity as me, I guess, and that tag is allocated to somebody no matter what. So I would be A-okay with that.
Okay.
Plus,
I don't think whether there's hunters there or not matter for you.
Yeah, it would. Because I would tell you used to, I would tell you no. I wouldn't care. I just want to try, for me, I just want to try to kill this deer or whatever. I would tell you now that absolutely is not the case. So, and like,
I'm not going to bring up my point.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that so the number you use is 35,000. 35,000 is okay. You'd pay it so you could go kill that deer.
I'm saying if I'm saying money's no object, you can make it 75,000.
Okay, but at some point it becomes an object for someone. At what number do you get outbid that it pisses you off?
Meaning,
what do you mean outbid? The whole thing is that money literally does not matter.
I know, and what I'm saying is if that's the case, then there's some. Elon Musk has a freaking limit. I don't know what that. His might be billions.
He's the limit.
Okay, but it might be billions. Where some of these other guys, it might be millions. Someone else, it's thousands. Then it keeps dwindling back down. And you're saying you're okay with it being at a certain level that you can afford.
No, I'm not saying. That's what I just said. 75,000, same thing. Okay. Because anybody that can afford to spend $35,000 to go hunt a whitetail at that time is making so much money that it doesn't matter. Meaning, that's probably not even 10% of their monthly income if they're spending 35 G's on
one deer.
Yeah.
And I guess my point is, maybe I can make this somewhat clear. I wouldn't do it period.
Well, we know that.
And the whole reason that I wouldn't do it, I would take the same amount of money that you're talking about or more and put it into owning my own ground and growing deer myself. And I'm not talking about buying them from game farms and I'm saying naturally trying to do that and trying to help the herd or help and see what I can do. Make it a something that means more than money.
Could that be worse?
I don't know.
Because let's say it's Susie Q's farm that you buy that dude was hunting, and Spook comes in for 1 year and offers Susie Q 25 G's, kills the deer he's after, and then he leaves, and Bill gets to hunt Susie Q's again. Now Susie Q's comes up for sale right next to your place, and you buy Susie Q's, and I'm going to guess you're probably not going to let anybody else hunt that. So now Billy Bob's out forever.
Before you answer.
100%.
So here you go. Hold on.
I'm just asking, is there
hold on. The goal here, I think, so we've discussed, we've beat a dead horse here on the lots and lots of money. If you have a lot of money to go spend it somewhere else, is it right or is it wrong? Nobody's here to be able to tell you that answer, yes or no, because it's not our place to judge it. And we've discussed all of our opinions on it and the difference in which ones there are, or types of guys that there are out there. Who gives a crap? So now we're on to the next, because we ain't them. We are not millionaires by any means. So now, though, we could do one that is much more common to everybody, and that is buying land. And whether we agree with it, don't agree with it, the guys that are buying lots of land, the guys that are buying little bits of land. So now to your point of the dude that comes in and buys the land, how do we feel about that? Because that one we can relate to. Me and Warren, maybe not as much, besides you let us hunt your land, but you have gotten to the point where you've bought land. So
that's where I guess that's where I'm coming from is as we're discussing this, I can still remember not getting to hunt places in Montana when we moved there because I was a firefighter. I did not have a lot of money, and yet I couldn't hunt places because they were leased by outfitters. That happened quite often. That's
not very relative, though, because there is an astronomical amount more of public land in places like that than there is versus in Iowa.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Instead of thinking about it, like a lot of people did there, especially native Montanans really are aggravated with it because they saw it change underneath them. So I understand where they're coming from.
I think native Montanans, get a special pass because there's one, it's liberals that are moving in. And so nobody likes them anyways. But two, they are getting outbid in not Iowa would seem very realistic compared to what they're dealing with. They're having to go toe to toe with mega millionaires, 100 million plus net worth, crazy amounts of money, and then people that don't believe in any of the things that they believe in, and trying to then change that state to what they left.
All I'm telling you is I've been on the side where I couldn't hunt someplace because of money. Okay. I've been there. Okay. Then I don't have a lot of money now, but Mom and I have worked our butt off so that we could have something. And that was a goal as the dude that didn't have it. The goal was to have something, but I didn't want to, I never wanted to buy a deer. I never wanted to say, I want to have enough money to be able to go kill a deer or an elk or whatever it was. I want to have enough money to own a place where I can walk out, I can take my boys hunting and know that today it's us against the deer. It's us against the turkey. It's not us against 6 other cars in the parking lot.
What about the dude that was hunting there before you, though?
I can't speak to that other than the fact that, you know what? You can do just like I did as a firefighter and work your ass off, save your money, and buy a piece of ground yourself.
Then you're a piece of crap for sitting here saying guys can't pay $70,000 to go kill a 200-inch deer and it should be illegal. You should get off your butt and work a little harder.
I don't know. What I'm telling you. Even if I had $70,000, I wouldn't go do it.
Body slam.
That's where I can say that, Easton, because I don't think it's right that they can do that.
Yeah, but it's the same concept.
It's not the
same
same
concept. You worked your butt off to be able to earn something and go do it, and you did it. Now they're just to an even higher magnitude. If they've earned their work to go do it, maybe it's not for the same purpose, but that's unfair to say that it's illegal, that you should make it illegal because you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it.
The same dude that was hunting your property before you bought it would probably say, I wish we could make it illegal to sell land so I could keep hunting my place.
Well, there's lots of reasons that land
That's
sells.
pretty relative. Come on. That was pretty good on your boy's part. I'm proud of that one.
Hey, let's keep the temperature cool.
Well, he's angry. I'm just
Let's
I'm
keep it.
devil's
well,
advocate.
You're just taking the thermometer and going. Whoop.
Well, the fact is that,
I don't
that
care
the two
either
of you
way.
have never been there, so you wouldn't know.
No, I don't. But
Because
I'm not against them doing it. I have been there, though, when people have bought the land where I can't afford to pay for it. So, and then I don't get hunted anymore.
I think is what Easton's trying to say is if you're in a position, now we all know that there's a rare expectation of a trust fund baby, but 70% of millionaires, I believe, are all self-made. So you only have 30% that inherited it.
That was the other way around.
It's
all the 70% have made it.
are self-made. Yeah.
Good for them. That's impressive.
So the odds are, I think the point Easton is trying to make, I don't know if he illustrated it the best, but the point he's trying to make is that person, let's just say Spook, maybe Spook grew up and somebody came in and leased a place that he was trying to kill a big deer, and he said, you know what, I'm never going to let that happen again. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to work my ass off to where I can go toe-to-toe in a fiscal manner with anybody else, and I will be able to hunt that piece of property. Is what you're saying is that you wanted to be able to have the ability to control your own property and be able to go and hunt a deer or a turkey and not have to deal with lots of other people. So you worked your ass off to be able to be in a position to do that. In essence, they are the same goal. It's just two different avenues of what you're doing.
And what the outcome is.
And I won't even sit here and argue the fact that we don't fall in there as a family and to some level of that. I mean, because we have leased ground, we've bought ground.
Well, if you believe in
but my point
the
is
roots of America, you do believe that you should be able to work hard and achieve things that
absolutely
you want.
But the one thing that I believe in hunting, being able to hunt, and I think you can cheat hunting. I think there are ways that it's being done with money, with technology, and things like that are cheating hunting. And you'll never change my mind. Till the day I die, I'll sit here and argue that.
Well, I don't think it's cheating hunting. Because really we're talking about
It doesn't surprise me that you say that.
Why?
Why are you getting so personal? Holy cow.
How personal is it for him to tell me that he doesn't agree with me, that
What?
there's nothing cheating hunting?
I don't know why.
You didn't even let me finish. I'm saying that,
He didn't let you finish.
no, you didn't let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't say there's nothing cheating hunting. Okay, if you'd listen, you'd understand what I said.
Okay.
I said, I don't know that the question here is cheating hunting. It's more so cheating the hunting community. Okay, so those are two totally different things. And I do believe that it would be very difficult for you to draw a line and say that purchasing access to go hunt a deer that naturally ended up at 200 some inches is cheating, and then buying 1,000 acres and feeding them food constantly and making sure that nobody else is hunting there and only shooting select deer and then giving them food all through the winter is not cheating, if that's your parameters, because each is funded by $1. That's what the only difference there on where you're getting that size. So I have a hard time seeing how you could draw a distinction there. In fact, to me, it'd be more rare for the one place to be producing a 200 than the one that is consistently
That is bought.
But I think the original point I was trying to make is if you really look at it from a hunting community standpoint, as much as it might be hard for people to swallow, what Spook is doing is probably better for everybody than purchasing land.
Because
that
money is
person
going straight to the conservation.
Well, no,
a lot of it is too.
The average dude that was hunting there before, he at least has a chance. He may not get to kill the giant deer because Spook screws it up.
Where
or
did
shoots
Spook? How did we get Spook's name involved in this?
Well, I know he does that, and he says it openly, which I will give him props to. That he at least he doesn't try to hide it at all. That he finds huge deer, and then he pays for permission to hunt those. Which
I
didn't
know that. So,
and I don't know that much about Spook, but I know that, and I've heard him say that in videos himself, and I do give him credit for being willing to say that that's what he's doing. But that's why I'm using him as an example, because I know he said it, and so I'm not saying anything against him. I'm just saying, and I know that a lot of people don't like what he's doing. I'm saying if you really break it down, you may want Spook to come hunt the place for a year, because then at least I get to hunt it again next year and the following year, opposed to it getting bought. So I'm just trying to be unbiased here and look at both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Controversy achieved.
Oh yeah, that one got there.
But I'm just trying. I'm not trying not to put an emotional bias into it and just look at both sides of it and see. It's the same thing I say about trophy hunting. I think like if most anti-hunters, or not even anti-hunters, non-hunters truly understand what trophy hunting means, because they'll say, "Oh, I'm fine with meat hunting, but I don't like trophy hunting." Okay, so
Well, they think trophy hunting is poaching.
yes,
Yeah.
they don't understand that. And then if you really broke it down, so you would rather somebody go and shoot a spike that is 1 year old and then waiting for a deer that is at full sexual maturity and past its prime to be harvested than the 1 year old, and still be eaten, still be utilized. I think most of them would tell you, well, no, I'd rather the old one go. Okay, so you're for trophy hunting.
Baby's cute. Okay, so you're for trophy hunting. Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's one way to put it.
Okay, do we want to move to another one then?
I don't know if we're gonna get all Pops back in the mood here.
I'm fine. I'll talk about anything you want. I don't agree with you guys at all, but that's okay.
We know. I don't agree with all the stuff I'm saying either. I'm just simply fighting on both sides of looking at both ends of it, perspective-wise. So
I know the one thing I would say on all of it is it's just like a presidential election. You can only control certain things in your life, and there's no point in putting so much emphasis in like who wins the election. Do you want somebody to win? Yeah. If the side that you didn't want to win wins, does that mean that you're going to quit working hard and you're not going to try to hit your goals, and that now you're going to allow them to control the outcome of your life? Hopefully the answer would be no. So if it ends up where the way the world is working, that you have to be able to afford a lease to be able to hunt, do I think that's the best thing, and that's how it should be? No, but I know if I want to hunt, then I need to work hard to make sure that I have some money to be able to get a lease. So I'm going to control the factors that I can control, is my point. Because in mamby-pamby land, everything's exactly how you want, and that's just not reality.
That's why it's mamby-pamby land.
Like the general used to say.
Uh-huh.
He says, you need tissue, you know? And what does he say?
Dad knows it off the top of his head.
What does he say? Well, because you need the tissue right now. You need tissue?
I don't need
And then he like smacks it away. He's like, gosh, what does he say?
Go back to mamby-pamby land, you jackwagon.
Yeah. Go back to mamby-pamby land, you jackwagon. That was like a Progressive commercial or something.
It was. No, it's Geico.
Geico.
Yeah, Geico.
Gosh, then you bring the good old days back.
Mm-hmm. Those were good commercials.
Okay, what's the next one?
There's lots of stereotypes we could do.
Okay, well, let's go to public guys.
The public guys are probably the funniest ones.
Why?
Just because there's so many stereotypes that do go along with it that is accurate, like so consistent throughout all of them. For instance, they're 100% a better hunter, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
They're the best hunter out there.
And nobody else could kill a deer where I can kill one.
Yep. If they find a public piece of ground, that is their public piece of ground. And it's not on Onyx. It's not out there. There's no signs or nothing. It is theirs. For all they know, there should be a sign on the side of the road that says Joe Blow's public land, and only he can hunt it.
Thank God Alyssa doesn't listen to this, because she was one of those.
Yeah, I know.
I had one or two spots that were like pretty decent on public, and I sent her to a couple times, and she was like, "There's somebody else parked here," and I'm like,
"Well, no,
well, yeah,
crap,
baby,
it's public.
It's public land. Like, they're allowed to be there." And she's like, "Well, this is my spot, and you told me to go here." And I was like, "Yes, and they're allowed to be there. There's nothing wrong with them being there." Like, and so she doesn't hunt the public anymore.
No, she can't handle it. So another one will be that private land hunters are either cheaters, or they aren't good hunters, or they suck at hunting, that they have nowhere near the experience level. What else? There's so many. They're flooding in my head right now. You have some?
Is there any validity to any of the ones, though?
Oh, 100%. There's validity to all of them, in my opinion, but to what extent there is. Because I think there's also validity to a private hunter is going to be like, I kill the biggest deer because I know what I'm doing. They're very egotistical.
Well,
I think they're the best.
I think you could take like a Tyler Knott. I won't use Brooke Martin because he does it, but Tyler Knott, I think most of like that one year that we had him on, and he killed what? It was either three
booners
in a year. If you told him you can only hunt public, maybe it takes him a year. I don't really think so, but maybe it does. I truly believe that dude's gonna still kill big deer.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Well, he's only hunted private, so he's not gonna have any idea how to hunt.
No, he's
deer
figured
on
out
public.
how to diversify, find the different areas, and find
Well, I think
them.
he just gets. He's gonna if one he understands deer, so I think then he'll be able to apply that knowledge. And sure, it might be a little bit different, but he's gonna be able to apply it. And then I think the second part of that is he's gonna figure it out. It's not like you can just go and kill deer on just because you have private that you're gonna kill a big deer.
Yeah.
Proof positive.
Yep. Hey, no tag yet filled.
If you haven't killed a big deer this year and you have private, put your hand up. Yeah. Loser.
Sucks for you, Mr. 183.
All by myself.
Oh, boy.
Mr.
But,
Lonely.
So what's gonna?
I
so
think the public ones, well, to be honest with you, I think they're all kind of ridiculous because they all are. I mean, there's validity to just about every different group of hunters' stereotypes because a stereotype comes from some kind of. Typically, it's not just made up. Now, is it blown out of proportion? Yes, most of the time.
Why do you think most people hunt public?
Because they think that they can't get access anywhere else.
Okay.
And I will say this is a stereotype against them from a private perspective would be they're too lazy to go find it.
Do you think?
Yeah, which doesn't also make sense because a lot of the public hunters that I do know are not lazy. They will go do the freaking wildest crap that I'm like, dude, props to you, I guess, because holy cow, for instance, has a freaking multiple section ladder somehow attached to, this is stupid, roots and other crap on a freaking straight up embankment that's like 40 feet high on a public piece of ground because he wants to be able to hunt.
40 feet?
Yeah, he wants to hunt the side, the little parts that are there that other people can't get to. So he's crazy enough to put his ladder up there, climb up it, then get up to the other side, and then goes hunt wherever.
Wait, so he's climbing up it to go over something?
He's climbing up the embankment, and then it gets flat again. But that's the only way to get up there.
So he's not sitting in the stand that high. It's just a freaking ladder.
Well, it's just a ladder to get up to the top, and then he walks on regular land.
Yeah, okay. Well, it kind of sounds like it was a ladder stand that he
Oh no,
found
it's
some way
40
to
feet
get it.
No, it's like 40 feet high just to get up the bank because it's basically a cliff.
Some dude is listening to this now,
now I know where the
it's
ladder
his name.
came from.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's like, I appreciate that, dude. Now I get up there.
Yeah.
My
bad.
See, he actually though he disproves my theory because, and I'm not. If you hunt public, I'm not saying this is all of you, but I believe that some people would rather work 2-3 times as hard on public than knock on doors because they're okay with working hard, but they just talking to random strangers makes them very uncomfortable. And I know people, and that there's things like that, all kinds of different things in life that, you know, I'd rather go and run 10 miles than have to go and lift a weight or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's just certain things they're good with. Do I have to work 3 times as hard? Sure, but I don't have to talk to people like that are strangers, and that's fine with me. So I think some of that, and then I think also there's some that are afraid to go knock on doors or just don't. They believe that it cannot. There's no point. They can't get permission, and then they therefore are stuck on public. But like he's definitely not afraid of talking to strangers.
No,
so
he's not.
Kind of not. He kind of disproves some of my thought process there.
Well, hold on, because you made a so here if I'm 18 years old, if I go back to when I was 18 years old and I heard you make that comment, I'd be royally pissed.
Which one?
The one about that I'm just lazy because I don't have any at that time. I don't have any private places to hunt. I'm hunting public land because I don't have anyone to take me to. I know nothing other than go hunt.
Why do you need anybody to take you anywhere?
What do you mean? I mean, I didn't have anyone that took me to places and taught me how to knock on a door or taught me that you can go ask for permission. I didn't know anything about any of that. I was told we go to the national forest and that's where you hunt deer. That's where I thought they all existed until as I started to get older and I started to realize, wait a minute, there's more of these deer, not on public land, but on private land. And then I don't know these people, but they will actually let me come on their property and hunt. I'm not saying that someone could fall in that category now, but I'm saying that there is someone out there that's trying to get into hunting that doesn't know any of this. And calling them lazy because they're hunting public is not fair.
I think that the logical human that would be listening, the 18-year-old that is listening to this podcast and is learning things about hunting and everything, would know that we're not referring to somebody who has no idea what they're doing.
You're telling them,
general,
don't be lazy, go get permission.
I'm pretty sure that they're not going to take it that way.
Well, I think, but I was thinking
the ones that get mad about it are the ones that are lazy, probably, that don't want to go
possibly
somewhere else.
In your generation, I think that's a pretty valid argument because that would be, how do you know?
There's no way to know unless you know somebody that told you.
Right, like everything. There was
it.
a lot of things that were more word of mouth back then. You don't know certain things. You may not necessarily know where to shoot them if somebody doesn't teach you.
No, that's what I'm telling you is it didn't exist at that point.
At that time.
Yes, nowadays.
The internet day and age, it would
absolutely, it's different
YouTube,
now.
baby. It's a freaking university.
Yeah, well, go look at 2 or 3 hunting videos, and then your whole algo is going to be nothing but hunting.
Yep.
You know, so it's not going to, which is why, you know, Nick's is nothing but diva discos and dudes, but, you know, it just caters to what you want.
Well, we're back in Chicago catching strays.
We've told Nick to never go to Chicago because he just, no matter what, he just is going to catch a stray.
He's going to get shot. Yeah, he's not coming
The good
back.
thing is, I think it'll just be like an arm shot or a leg shot. I don't think it's going to be anything that's vital. But you should still stay away from there.
He went. Yeah, he did go after we advised him not to.
Oh, jeez. You better not try it again. Let's go best 2 out of 3.
So
don't
there's
want
lots
the
of
podcast edited.
So that was for public land hunters. And then I think you said private land hunters, you know, basically you're not as good a hunter as the public guy.
You cheat.
You cheat, which we've heard people say that because, and I guess that's what I'm saying is I fall in every single one of the categories we're talking about. I don't want anyone to think that I'm not including myself in that. Someone that doesn't make as much money as that Karen and I have made is going to say, you guys are rich. We're not millionaires, but we are. To someone else, it would be in the same class as what we're saying that the dude that is spending millions of dollars is doing to them. And so that's all I'm saying. And all I'm trying to get across here is there can just be things that go too far. And in no means have I love hunting. I mean, I love it that I've dedicated half my life or maybe more than that to trying to preserve it and see that as many people can get involved as they possibly can. So I'm going to argue in the fact of trying to help others be able to get in the woods and experience what we've experienced. And so if I see something that I feel like is possibly going to attack that or take that away, then I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to fight against it, or I'll fight for it if it's something that is doing the exact opposite and promoting hunting that well.
All right. So other stereotypes. That was a good soapbox. I'm proud of you. I support you in your endeavors.
Okay.
This is theoretical. This podcast is right now.
Okay.
So for the private land hunters, you are arrogant pieces of crap. You think you're better than everybody else, which is kind of arrogant. You kill a lot bigger deer, and you're way better of a hunter than everybody else is. You cheat because you've got money, and you just buy your deer. You don't have to spend half the amount of hard work to do what you do. What else? I'm just thinking about all the things that have been said to us.
Who's at the top of the ladder, though, of like that private hunters would be like, that dude's a badass, and that public hunters would be like, that dude's a badass?
Your private's got to be like Mark and...
No, I'm saying, not saying in categories.
Oh.
That whether you're a private
if
land
you're
guy
opposite,
or you're a
they're all
public
like,
land guy, everybody would say, that dude's a stud.
Oh.
I know some that are like...
I'm saying...
Jim Shockey. Everybody would say he's a badass.
I'm not saying a specific person.
Oh.
I'm saying this person has done this, and this. And every public land guy or a private land guy would both agree That guy is a stud.
The dude that's consistent. The guy that is killing, whether it's a Pope and young deer, a forked horn, or a doe, or an elk, or wherever he lives, but he's doing something every single year, public or private, and he's filling a tag every single year. It could be bad weather, it could be EHD goes through, no matter what, he comes out.
But
he
the
comes
public
out.
land guys are going to tell you no because he's hunting private.
I have a vote.
And what I'm saying is whether it's public or private.
Yeah, I'm saying that they agree. Like that. Okay, we'll go back to that in a minute. Let's
Then
hear it.
it's what you're
existent.
I believe there's one.
What is it?
Guy that puts in the effort.
There is.
You're assuming that everybody actually has the self-awareness to not be jealous, to not be judgmental, to respect, and everything else, which is what you're being. That you're being, like, you're seeing that in a non-judgmental light. Like, hey, they did a really good job every single year. 90% of guys don't see it that way.
No, I'm saying that everybody agrees this dude's a stud.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
and
what is it?
there is one pinnacle, I think. A dude that kills toads on public every year, I don't think you're going to get any private land dude saying that dude's just doing it because he doesn't want to knock on doors or that he's
no, that's the guy I'm calling.
You're like, that guy, that dude. You agree that dude's a stud. He's killing a tanker on public every year. Dude's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your public land guys are going to say this dude's a stud, and I really don't like him because he's making me look bad.
Yep.
Like that would be the one thing I would say. Like if you want to be that kingpin of the deer hunting world, then kill a big deer on public year after year. I think that would be
correct.
Because I think as soon as you go to the private portion, then you're going to be able to get guys saying, well, the only reason you're killing them that big is because you're on private. Which I would the interesting thing about this too is I would have told you 10 years ago before like hunting public really got big on YouTube and it became like kind of a
fad.
Yeah, fad, that killing a deer that you would have more pressure to deal with on private permission in Iowa than you did public.
Yeah.
And say that again. I guess I didn't follow how you're saying that.
That 10 years ago here, okay, before everybody was all in on the hunting public stuff,
okay,
that everybody would tell you, public's more pressured. I would have told you, if you just have permission on ground in Iowa to hunt, that the chances that ground is more pressured than the public was at that time was like 85, 90%.
I would agree with that.
And the reason I said that is because of two observations. One, we had certain public places that I drive by all the time. Not now.
And nobody was there.
Ever. Like November 1st through the 20th, not a truck there ever. And which now it's not that way. There's always a vehicle there, or especially on the weekends. But like I remember driving by on a Saturday and being like, what? There's nobody here. And then you have and then I remember being in school, and here everybody is related to a farmer.
Oh, yeah.
Or 90% of them are, especially in your small towns. So they're hunting their uncle's land or their cousin's land or the guy they work for or their brother's, uncle's, cousin's, sister's aunt. It's like, because everybody here also had the same last name too. Like it's, kind of like Alabama. You couldn't call a chick hot. And people are like, it's my cousin. Yeah. So it was,
that's
everybody.
That's actually, unfortunately, kind of accurate.
Dude, when half the people in your class have the same last name.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so there was a lot of competition on private, which not that there still isn't, but I think that at that time I would have, knowing the knowledge that we had now, if it was that way, I think that you could be, and I knew of a few guys that were killing giants on public. Giants, like 200 type deer, 185, 190, 200-inch deer year after year, and I don't think they were dealing with hardly anybody else.
What do you think? Maybe this is off topic of stereotypes, but what has changed, do you think? What do you think has caused because like I just saw a deal yesterday that there's it's being posed, and I can see why, that Iowa's talking about increasing their non-resident number of tags. And I think I don't know this, I didn't read it, but I'm just assuming that's because now we're up to like so many people are putting in that you're 5 years to draw a bow tag. Maybe we probably going to start pushing 6 here pretty quick.
I don't think that's why they're adding more tags.
Why would they be adding more tags?
Because they're taking away the party hunting. And that means that the amount of
Taking away the party hunting for non-residents to shoot a buck.
Correct. Yep.
Before people go freak out over that.
Oh, sorry if I made you freak out. Anyways, that has already caused quite a few or our numbers to drop in the amount of deer that are being harvested in the year significantly. So if they don't have
how do we know that that's not just EHD this year?
Well, we got that from that's from a DNR officer that the numbers are.
The harvest is down this year for sure. The harvest is down.
Yes,
right,
but
they're
that's
also saying that this is the highest EHD count we've had since 2012.
Right.
So that could contribute to the harvest is down because there's not as many deer.
Correct, but there's also not near the amount of hunters either. So I mean, it's all relative.
The hunter numbers is down as well.
See, I don't know that.
This is the first year that they've made it where it's a little more difficult. I mean, there's been some people that are like grandfathered in, from what I understand, but like the non-resident buck tags and stuff are gone pretty much. And that also means, for the party hunting, that also means that there's tons of hunters, like groups, that are no longer pushing anymore. And I was just telling you guys about that. I thought that it might be the younger generation, like wanting to change things. Now I'm understanding that the reason pushing is not as common around is because a lot of the pushing that was going on was out-of-staters, like 50% of it, like a very large amount of everybody's groups was not out-of-staters. They were coming to do it. And so now that's non-existent pretty well because they're not just going to come shoot a doe. They don't care, unless they're just coming to hang out with family or do whatever else, hang out with some friends and go hunt for the weekend. That's one thing. But the vast majority is not there. So if you don't have that number of hunters, whether you agree with the format in which they're hunting, that is the largest deer harvest in all of Iowa in 2 weeks. And that is a pretty large conservation help, whether we like it or not. And so they're going to have to start giving out some more tags because we already have an overpopulation of deer.
I didn't even know they were talking about that.
Yeah. Well, that's not the case in the entire state. It is where we are, but just like 4 counties over and anywhere west, they've done away with antlerless tags because they don't have enough deer.
Is this though just archery or
just archery? What more tags?
Non-residents? Yeah, is it archery, shotgun?
No, I don't know.
Muzzleloader?
All it said was that there's legislation out there to increase the number of non-resident tags for Iowa, for the state of Iowa. I didn't see what they were specific for, and I didn't read anything that told me why.
Yeah, I don't really know why they would. I would need more context.
Yeah, I don't know. So what's posed the question there was, what is causing? Why is there more? You think? I mean, I don't know if that's what you were getting at. Was that like the hunting public and the fact that it was being publicized that you can hunt public land in Iowa? Now more people are hunting it, or is it just a change? Is it just that there was more people hunting and that they saw an opportunity? Because I know of one chunk of ground. We've been here 12, almost 13 years, and there's one chunk of public ground that I saw someone there this year, and I hadn't seen anyone there for a few years, but at the same time, I saw someone there a year before that or something. But my point seems like it's still not being hunted very hard compared to other places that I've lived where public land meant 10 cars.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. When I was saying the hunting public, I wasn't really trying to
create.
Oh, nice. Oh, my Lord. Dog just puked.
Christo, don't come over and eat it.
That is impressive.
Why is it on my chair?
Anyways, I think the thing that's influenced it is that I wasn't trying to say the hunting public, the YouTube channel, but I do think they've probably had some influence because they've shown people, hey, oh, God, it stinks. Mm-hmm. Oh, that you can go on public land and kill deer still. And I think they've made it pretty well known that you can do that. I think it's also a mix too of there's more technology that shows people boundaries and things like that. We're gonna have to do my wacky fact and go because it stinks. Do you smell that?
Oh yeah.
Holy moly! What did you let him eat?
I have no idea what he ate.
Well, it was dead for sure for a long time before he ate it. Okay, well, I think
it's a skunk or something.
Wacky fact. Yeah, it's apple.
So, in short, it's a lot of
No wonder he
stereotypes
puked.
today, everybody. please, for the love of God, don't take all of them personal, because we've all kind of fallen in multiple parts of those. So we're really just putting it out there on what a stereotype is.
Yeah, we're just
and having a little fun with it too, because I think they're quite humorous. So if you guys have stereotypes, I am quite certain that I don't have to say this, but I am pretty sure we're going to have some interesting comments on this one, and I am more than happy to hear about more stereotypes and roast the crap out of people. It'll be fun. So anyways, Dad, what all do we have for sale?
Make sure you guys are going to raisedhunting.com, because we have Raised Scents, we have Raised Knox, we have Raised Canine line, and we have new sweatshirts in. We got apparel, so we got about a few days before Christmas. Get your orders in, because you can get some pretty good stuff, and we'll take care of you so that you got the right stuff for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
okay. In the art of throwing up,
Horses can't throw up.
because Dan just puked. While snorkeling off the coast of South Africa, a man was accidentally scooped headfirst into the mouth of a massive bride's whale. Feeling the pressure around him, he quickly realized he was too large for the whale to swallow, bringing a sense of relief. Moments later, the whale spat him out unharmed.
They're talking about Moses.
No, the dude actually got
That's right.
No, his
accidentally.
name was Mike.
What? I don't get it. I still don't get it.
Cricket. I wish I had the crickets button. It is on the board.
Nick can put it in afterwards.
That it? All right. We are going to sign off today.
You're not doing that.
Well, then figure it out. Somebody do something. We're all.
What?
He is not doing that. He
Then
does not
sign
get
off.
that. Are you ready?
Get what?
I didn't know if you were. He's waiting if you were doing another one.
Oh, I got one more, yeah.
Yeah, see?
In 2017, Frankfurt police discovered a car that had been reported missing 20 years earlier. The vehicle belonged to a 76-year-old man who had forgotten where he parked it in 1997.
No way. Nobody towed it?
I guess I could see myself doing that. No.
I could too. 100%. Well, I lost my car, so I guess I'm just going to have to go buy a new one.
It's a friend of ours that their mom went in Walmart and called the cops. Wasn't it Dakin?
Did what?
I think it was Dakin. I think it was his.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, his mom went in Walmart, came back out, ended up calling the cops, said someone stole my car. They get there, they're doing all this, they're going through everything, and it was all because she forgot that it was parked like two things over. And they end up, but like they went to security and all this. We're watching the films to see someone steal the car and all this stuff, and then they realized they just forgot where it was parked.
That's crazy. So
That's why they make
sign
you wait
us off.
24 hours before reporting
We're ready
a missing
to go.
person.
All right, guys, thank you for joining the Stereotypes, brought to you by Raised Hunting. We're out of here this week. We'll see you guys next week.
don't throw up.
Smells like Subway. Nasty Subway.